Welcome to the Raise Manifest Show, and today we have what I want to call an iconic car. Now, this car, of course, by now you can see with this, the men call it the NZE Amateur. For the ladies, just another Toyota Corolla. But today, I'll give you a quick tour of this car, and I'm going to tell you why you should never sell it if you have it. That's why even the owner hasn't sold it. This car will outlive you, your kids, and probably your great-grandkids. Let's see why. I'll show you. Join me. I want to start with the engine because this car is known for its reliable engine, the NZE FE. That engine is what you find in the Pro Box and a whole lot of Toyota cars. That engine is what they like to call bulletproof. Let me show you why. Let me pop the hood. Yeah, of course, this car, even opening the hood is a problem because it has all the safety features. It's still a hot cake. And so, I present to you the NZE FE engine. This engine is a 1,500cc motor. And it's, this engine, you basically just change the oil with this car. Just an oil change, occasionally plugs after 30k kilometers, and of course the air cleaner. But this engine can withstand all kinds of abuse. This car already, the owners had it for over 7 years, and this car was bought for 700,000 over 8 years ago, and it still gets orders for the same price or even higher, simply because of this engine, this NZE FE. So, the NZE FE, of course, it's powered by a automatic transmission. Yes, those days the automatic transmission came standard, not like nowadays where there is CVT. And it is a 4-speed automatic. It's a U340E, I think. And the gearbox, it's okay. The car picks quite decently, especially for a car that era. It even picks better than some CVTs we have in the market. So I believe this car is a complete package and it drives like a dream. This car, all you need is just regular maintenance, of which even there's evidence of cars which even surpass the service intervals and they are still running, but never do that to a car. But this car proved to be more than bulletproof. And that's why those who have this car hardly release them. So let's check inside. The interior of the NZE is basically, this is functional. It just focuses on functionality, not necessarily comfort, but I must say the seats are quite comfortable. There is enough legroom at the front. And as you can see, the dashboard, everything is well laid out. Unfortunately for the NZE, there is no rev meter. So at times you cannot see how many revs you are doing with your car. But however, being an automatic, that's not pretty necessary. And basically, yeah, the AC, everything is well laid out. For this one, it still has the stock stereo system. Of course, when most people, that's the first thing they replace when they get such a unit. Yeah, so at the front, everything is just well laid out. The gear selector is easily accessible, does not distract, does not come into contact with your knees. Yeah, and let's check the back. Immediately you get at the back, of course. Wow, tons of knee room, tons of headroom. Driver seat in my driving position, of course, very comfortable. This car, I dare say, it's quite comfortable for long distances. In our test drives with it, we went quite a long distance, and it's never uncomfortable. What I can say about this car in terms of driving it, what I can say is that this car, when you get to above 110 kilometers per hour, it feels a bit, doesn't feel very planted on the road. You can feel, some waftiness, which can be very unsettling, especially if you are carrying some elderly people. Even at times you just feel unsafe when you're above 110. So one thing I'll recommend these cars, don't take it. Don't do the 140 speeds, 150 speeds. Just keep it under 120. At most, do 120, and you'll enjoy this car. One thing that I'm sure people who have experienced this car or currently own this car will give a testament to is that this engine consumes very little fuel. And especially for long distances, you can do a good 150K. And trust me, the fuel gauge won't have moved. That needle won't have moved. And at times even you wonder whether it's broken. Reason being, the one NZE is very fuel efficient. These were those early EFI engines which were really, the consumption was really good. Unlike nowadays where the engines are manufactured with planned obsolescence in mind. But nowadays, but that time, this engine was built to last. And that's why your Pro Box, you'll find a Pro Box which is a KBL still on that engine. And it's simply because this engine is, as I said, it's bulletproof, nothing else. Like, I cannot overemphasize anymore like how that engine was solid. So, do we even need to check the boot space? I guess we should. Let's go. The NZE came with a very, very generous boot space, and I'm going to show you how generous. Of course, guys, remember, Mata. Yeah. We got all this real estate here, which, wow, this is huge. And of course, I'll just give you a little peep through the spare wheel. So nowadays, I know this is a flex nowadays, having a spare wheel. And as I said, how I wish nowadays we can return the spare wheel. I mean, how much weight are we saving by getting it out? And nothing much to talk about the space other than how enormous it is, which I've underscored already. Yeah, so I think it's time to enjoy this ride and see why this iconic car still gets the respect, and still why some people sell it at 750,000. Like, this being a very clean unit, this is top shilling, man. This is top shilling. Yeah, so even the battered units, you won't get it less than for 50K. And that's the battered, careless, jinga kabisa owner. But for the for the clean ones, my director is laughing. But for the clean ones, like this, 700, 650 at least. That's with an assurance. So that's why many people who have these cars don't leave them. Yes, even when you get your Prado, you still have this. When you get your Range, always this car will get you out of, those shag strips where you just want to save on fuel. You make a full tank and you go and come back. Yeah, depending on where your shags is, of course. Yeah, so let's take a ride in this car. We feel how it drives. Yes. One thing about this car, the first thing you notice while driving this car, it's how smooth it is. And this one I speak for this particular unit since the owner really takes good care of this car. It's very smooth. The gears, you can feel the gear change. Remember, this is an automatic transmission, so you can feel the gear change. And let's accelerate a bit. Whoa. Wow, this car still got it. How many years later? How many? Almost what? 19 years later. This car still got the oomph. Smooth, silent, I must say. It's quite silent. And you just feel like cruising with it. I bet you this car is your best cruiser long distance. When that trip to the village, this is the best. Complete package. The boot space enough to fit all those, all those bags of shopping. Yeah, and as I told you, when you go past 110 kilometers, you feel it's a bit not too stable on the road. So I'll encourage you to just keep it below 110 and you'll enjoy this car. Yeah, so basically that's what I can say. Very nice drive. Corners, wow, the corners. Let's take another corner here. Let's feel how it is. Smooth. You still feel planted on the seats while taking sharp corners. Let's take another very sharp corner here. Quite stable, but don't speed on the corners. Yeah, so that's a very good ride right there. Braking is perfect. Yeah, so let's go up that hill. Full throttle. Whoa. Then we have a bump here. Oh man. Perfect. Just perfect. This car drives better than some of the cars that like they're half its age. This car is just. Usiuze hii gari yaki. Kama uko na hii gari usiuze. That is kama umeiweka poa hivi. Kama umeiharibu, you can just sell it for parts. But really, if you have this car, and you're keeping it in tip-top condition like this one, just keep it. Don't sell it. But even if you sell it, you get good money. You might just get what you paid for. Yeah. As we have already established, the Toyota Corolla E140 is one hell of an iconic car. And we have realized that the 1NZE engine is the power behind the throne. Of course, we can only hope that Toyota continues to build such cars in future, which will outlast all of us. And as we continue giving this car the much needed praise, and it continue to give us the much expected service, we can only hope that this car continues to be the benchmark of reliability in the Kenyan market scene. Thank you for watching.